Okay, so now we are ready for our weekly tarot reading for the upcoming week of August the 5th, because I'm just starting it on a Monday. And as always, I use this spread. It is not my original spread. It comes from Kate from dailytarotgirl.com. So she pulls a situational card, a challenge card, and a helper card. So this week our situation is the Four of Cups, if you can see. And it is the moon in, that looks like Cancer to me, yes. So we've got cups. Fours are typically about stability in some way. But the issue with the Four of Cups, because it comes to our emotions, is that we can feel a little bit bored or stagnant. There's obviously positives and negatives to each card. So when I look at the Four of Cups and we have this figure who has their eyes closed, that can be a person going within and being in a meditative state, which, that's always a good place to be. But the issue is that we see this hand offering another cup, and this person is sort of ignoring that opportunity. So the situation could just be that maybe there's an opportunity presenting itself to you and you're just not feeling that opportunity for whatever reason. Either you're ignoring it or you're just not in the mood for it. It could also just be that maybe you are feeling bored with something. There's just some kind of blasé energy going on where you're just kind of like, meh. So once again, when we do this for the collective, you'll kind of know, like you'll hear what I'm saying and you'll be like, oh, this is the area that it applies in my life, where you might be just feeling either bored about something, or you might just be feeling like, hey, there's this opportunity coming up, but I'm not really sure how I feel about it. I just kind of feel eh. So what's going to get in the way of that is the Eight of Wands, which in this card, it's Mercury and Sagittarius. And this card, it's funny because I drew this one as one of my daily cards this week. But what stands out is you have this figure that's looks like they're running away from or running with. But in this case, to me, it kind of looks like running away from all of these wands that are basically these giant branches. But he has these little wings on his shoes, which I just finished watching the Percy Jackson series on Disney Plus with my son, and it just reminds me of the wing shoes that Hermes gave to Luke, and then he gave it to Percy, but who gave it to his friend, and then he yells out Maya, and the shoes fly away with him in the shoes. So thinking about all that and putting that together, this is not a week to just jump into anything. Mercury is sort of like all about speed. He's a very fast moving planet. So it's going to be, we're being challenged to not do that. Don't rush into anything. No split decisions, whether running into an opportunity or running away from an opportunity. So we want to avoid fight or flight this week. We just don't need to take any rash action, because the Eight of Wands is a swift moving card. It's about taking quick action. As the challenge card, we don't want to do that this week. So don't feel like if an opportunity presents itself and you're feeling kind of about it, that you have to quickly make a decision or do something about it or take action. You don't have to do that. If anything, our helper card is the Knight of Pentacles. So we get a lot of court cards on this channel. That's all I can say. But this is a knight who is like a slow and steady wins the race type. And see how he's just carrying this pentacle and the horse is moving very slowly. I just look at it as we're being called to, what will help us is to have a goal in mind. Because if you're just feeling kind of blah about life in general right now, a little bit bored, things are being presented to you, but you kind of don't really know how you feel about it, start by thinking about the end in mind. Where do you actually want to end up? Don't think about the opportunity that's presenting itself and what you want to do about that. Think about where you are in that aspect of your life that you're not feeling super pumped about at this point. What would you like to see? What is your greatest vision for that? and then take small and steady actions towards that. So once you have the end in mind and that goal in mind, you don't have to rush full speed ahead towards it. It's better that you don't. It's better that you just take small strategic action along the way. And that'll help kind of clear up this energy, because then we don't have to feel so bored or meh. And in the fours, like nothing is really happening. It's just stability. You're kind of where you are. So this, you're just taking small steps. And that's going to help shift that energy where you feel like you're gaining a little bit of momentum, and you'll probably feel a lot more enthusiastic. That way, when other opportunities present themselves, you might feel like, oh yeah, this is the next best step to take. Or you might be like, well, that's not really in line with the vision that I have, so I'm gonna pass on that. So to summarize, this week our situation is that there's an area in our lives where we might just be feeling a little bit bored, a little bit meh. Nothing's really happening. An opportunity might present itself and we're not really sure how we feel about it, if we should take it or not. We need to avoid making any rash decisions or taking rash action. We don't need to run away from the opportunity and say no right away. We don't need to say yes right away and jump into a situation that might not be for us. Instead, we want to think about that area in our lives where we're feeling a little bit meh or stagnant, and think, what would it look like if it was the way I wanted it to be? How would it feel? What would I be doing? Who would I be with? Doing those things, and then start breaking it down into smaller steps, taking small actions at a time, so that you can build that momentum, and as more opportunities present themselves, you can figure out, are they in alignment with what you want or what you don't want, and then act accordingly. So I hope this reading was helpful. As always, I'd love it if you came back later on and just let me know in the comments section, hey, this is how my week went. Yes, this reading applied. Or you can just come back and tell me, no, this had nothing to do with my week at all. And that's fine too. I just want to hear from you. So I hope you all have a great week ahead.